Alrighty guys, we got a lot to break down in this video, and as you all can see, I am back at home. I'm back in the office, and if you didn't know, I was in Miami for a couple of days, and although I love vacation, kicking back, relaxing, having some drinks, hitting the beach, pool, doing all that good stuff, eating some good food as well, guys. I had a lot of good food. I love doing that, but I also love getting back home, getting back to the grind. That's just how I am, guys. So with that being said, let's dive into the video. If you haven't gotten your free stocks for Moomoo yet, you get 10 stocks, each up to $2,500 with a $100 deposit, and you can get 6 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited. All of those are linked down below. Literally free money, guys, and it also helps out the channel. And with that being said, let's dive into the video and talk about what is going on right now. It's currently about 2 p.m. on the East Coast. We have the Russell down 1.4%. Same with the NASDAQ. The S&P is down 0.6%, as we have the Dow pretty much at break even, as the VIX is up 5%. We have gold down 0.5%, and silver roughly down 0.5% as well. And make sure to subscribe to the channel, because we're not going to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum in this video, but in my next video today, we will be breaking down what Bitcoin and Ethereum are looking like right now. And let me tell you guys, those are red as well. So what we're noticing is a clear rejection. Well, not a clear rejection and a dump off quite yet, but we are seeing resistance under the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart here on SPY, and under the highs from the end of last month. Which, did we not talk about this? We've been talking about this for days at this point on the YouTube channel here and on Patreon. It's clear we have a resistance here, and until the bulls get out of this, it's going to be hard for them. So I have my alert at 395.28. I don't know why it's at such a specific price to the cent. So let me just make it 395 flat. Let's do that now. Mark is at or above 395. That's the point where bulls need to get out of. If bulls get out of 395 into the 400s, 420, 415 could be right around the corner for SPY based on what I'm seeing here. And I'll talk about the intraday chart in a second, but let's talk about triple Q first quickly, because it is the same thing pretty much on the 4-hour chart right now. It is the same thing as SPY. We're struggling at the highs from the end of June, and we are not quite yet breaking out of $300 and the moving averages. In fact, we're under the 180 moving average as of right now here on the 4-hour chart, as triple Q's down 1.5%. So let me show you guys what's going on here on the intraday. We had a big dump off this morning. You guys can see triple Q went from 293 to 288 in the first 30-45 minutes of the session. That's a drop. We're talking almost 2%. And since that point, we have slowly rallied. But notice where we're struggling at right now, even though we rallied. So you guys can see we hit 288. We rallied, and now we're at about 290, 292, which happens to be the support from the pre-market. So the fact that we filled the gap back up to the support from the pre-market, and now we're actually getting more selling. Sellers are stepping in at 292. That's not a good sign, guys. The fact that we're failing at the support from the pre-market, right? So let's say we break out of that point from the support from pre-market, maybe 292, 293. Okay, at that point, maybe we get some sort of sustained rally for the bulls, but we're just not quite there yet. And again, we're getting selling pressure in just the past 5-10 minutes here from 292 on triple Q. Now we're at 290.8. $290 and 80 cents. So that's not looking good at all on the intraday for triple Q. And for SPY, it's probably the same thing. Let's double check though. Oh, it's actually not the same thing. Well, I guess one thing here that we can mention is SPY also fell in the morning from about 387 to about 383. So it lost about 0.7%, not nearly as much as triple Q did in the first 30-45 minutes. And now we're seeing a bit of a run. We're slightly above the 180 SMA. We have a golden cross. But the thing here is SPY is failing at the highs from the pre-market. Not the support from the pre-market, but the highs from the pre-market, right? And again, triple Q was failing at the support from the pre-market. This is right around 387 right now in terms of SPY, which you can see 387 was that high from the pre-market. So if we get buying pressure above, let's say 387, 88, at some point today, later today, maybe in power hour. I would say that is good for the bulls, but we're seeing some selling pressure right now from 286.87. Now we're at 285, so this might continue, or rather 385. So this might continue selling off a bit here. So we have to wait and see. Patience is key in these markets, guys. And the Dow just went red. Now it's down 0.1%. So you got to subscribe to the channel, because later today we're going to be breaking down exactly how the last hour and a half, 2 hours of the session ended up playing out. So let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments. As always, did you buy anything today? Sell anything? Are you trading? Me personally, I actually bought a little bit more VOO today. It's my regular bi-weekly buy for VOO, which, if you guys didn't know, it's the S&P 500 ETF that I personally own. And you guys might be like, Stas, why don't you own SPY? Why don't you own this, that, or this? I get these comments all the time. And the truth is, guys, VOO's expense ratio is 0.03%. Last I checked. Let me double check right now for you all, because I don't want to give false information here on the YouTube channel. So let me see here. VOO expense ratio, 0.03%, while SPY's is, last I checked, 0.09%. 0.09%. So you're paying 3 times as much in expense ratio to own SPY as you are VOO, which it's practically the same thing. And yes, I know, before you guys get in the comments and say, Stas, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, 0.03, 0.09, it's a very tiny expense ratio, which, yes, it is. At the end of the day, whether you own SPY or VOO, long term, you're going to be fine. I mean, it's practically the same thing. But if we're penny pinching here, I don't even want to call it penny pinching, but if we want to reduce our expenses, what we pay out to these ETFs as much as possible, I just say go for VOO. It's, it doesn't make much of a difference long term, but it will make some sort of difference in the grand scheme of things, because you're paying less in terms of an expense ratio. So that's a little side tangent there on VOO versus SPY. Let me know which one you guys prefer. I mean, I don't know. I personally own VOO. You guys might own SPY. Either way, we're going to be good long term, but we're really just nitpicking at this point, right? So let's dive into some of these stocks. And if you all are finding value, smash that like button for me. It really helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. Guys, have you seen the Chinese stocks today? Alibaba's down 8.3% when I'm filming this, and just on Friday, it was at $126 a share almost. Now it's at 110. It is down about 13%, 13% from just Friday alone. And I guess the high from Friday. And you can see here on the 4-hour chart, Alibaba, the chart looks pretty dang good. We sold off a good amount, which is good. We shook out the weak hands, profit taking, whatever you want to call it. And now we're approaching, in my opinion, a buy zone right around the 180 SMA on this 4-hour chart at about 105, $110 a share. This is where we've seen the uptrend hold in the past, based on the trend line that I have drawn right here. And again, the 180 SMA on this 4-hour chart. So I do believe, and we're already kind of seeing buyers coming in just ever so slightly. Well, I guess not really. It's just consolidating here at about 109, 110. I believe buyers will step in, whether it's here at 109, 110, maybe at 105 if it comes down a little bit more. I do believe buyers will step in, and if they do, 105, 110, this could be a nice swing trade, in my humble opinion. It's setting up for that right now. And as always, you guys got to do your own research. Don't buy, sell, do anything based on my opinion. This is just my opinion. And you guys know I'm long Alibaba as a long-term position. And I was mentioning this on my Patreon video this morning. I'm considering buying more Alibaba if it does come down to maybe 100, 103, 105. I'd buy more at that point as a long-term investment, because I do believe now, as China's economy slowly opening up, COVID restrictions are coming down, there's going to be a big move coming in the next 6, 12 to 18 months. Now, and even in the next couple of weeks, if you're looking at it as a swing trade, and it's going to take patience, right? It's going to take patience with Alibaba, in my personal opinion. So the next one here, which is not a stock, but it's a REIT the chart looks great either way. It's Vici Properties. I've talked about this a couple of times over the past couple of weeks, and it just keeps on ripping, guys. Today, well, I guess not ripping, but it's moving in the right direction. Let's put it that way. Today, Vici went up, or it's currently up. It's currently 2:10 p.m. on the East Coast, guys. Vici's up 0.3% on the day, and it's extending its rally from last week. You guys can see last week it started off at about 29 or 29.80, very low 30s, and now we're at 31.50. We're up a little bit on the day. We're breaking out of the wedge here on the 4-hour chart. We're above the moving averages. We have a golden cross, and with today's move, we actually took out the highs from, let's see here, the beginning of May, late April as well, being around 31 bucks flat. So that's good for Vici. I'm telling you guys, this looks like it wants to break out, technically speaking. And this is another one, full disclosure, that I own. I own Vici Properties. Not a ton of it, but I have held it for all this year. You know, if you guys don't remember, I started a real estate investment trust portfolio literally in January of this year. I bought Vici, I bought Realty Income, I bought Stag. I think those are the only three. Yeah, only three of them that I own. And that portfolio has been outperforming. It's been doing very well compared to the markets. And that was kind of my experiment from the beginning of the year. My mindset going into it, I was like, okay, let me make a portfolio. It's a small portfolio, but let me do a test portfolio here with only REITs and see what it's going to do. And it's outperformed. It's done well. And just look at these charts, guys. Vici, all this year, it's been pretty flat. Now it's slightly moving to the green since the beginning of January, and they pay a nice dividend, which, mind you, I just got my Vici dividend. I think it was last week they paid out, which is solid. Realty Income, pretty flat on the year, and they pay a dividend monthly, which is great. And Stag, I believe, is also a monthly payer, although this one is not flat on the year. This is actually down a decent amount on the year from, let's see where it started. It started off the year at 45 bucks. Now it's at 30. And granted, I didn't buy it at 45 bucks. I actually think I bought it in the mid-high 30s. This is the last REIT that I bought in terms of, if we're looking at this in a time sequence or, chronological order or whatever. I bought Realty Income first, Vici Properties, and I think I waited a month or two. Then I added Stag to the portfolio, probably right around here, mid-February, something like that, high 30s, and then I averaged down a little bit. So I'm not down massively on Stag personally, but I guess if you did buy it, in January, you would be down a good amount because in January it was in the mid 40s, and now it's at 30 bucks. But again, my average I think is right around 35, 36. I have to double check, and I'll let you guys know. So those are three REITs that I own and I'm watching right now, and Vici's one that, in terms of the chart, by far in my eyes looks the best out of those three. And the last stock for this video, guys, is none other than AMC. AMC starting to gain momentum towards 15 bucks a share. Look at this. It's currently up not much on the day, 0.6%, but it's gearing up for a move towards 15 plus, in my opinion. You guys can see last Friday we did hit 15.30. And that is the day. Did I lock in? No, I locked it in on Thursday. I locked in profits at about 14 something on Thursday on the remaining shares of my AMC. I bought originally, where was it? $12.97, $13.24. Then I sold 75% of my position on the 27th of June. I forget exactly at what price, to the dot, but I sold 75% there, and I sold the remaining at, on this past Thursday, I believe. And now we're starting to make a move past the wedge, or breaking out of the wedge, which is what I was looking for. And I mentioned this recently for a potential re-entry. Now that we're cracking 15 almost, this might be a breakout opportunity, in my opinion, for maybe a move towards 16.50, 17 bucks, which is where AMC was just at the end of May. So Yeah, guys, those are a couple of stocks I'm looking at. Some thoughts on the markets. Right now, the Russell's down and the NASDAQ 1.6. We have the Dow down 0.25%. S&P's pushing down 1%. So the markets have bled even more throughout the course of me filming this video. And mind you, we'll wrap it up here. The VIX is up 6%. And look at what the VIX has done each time. It's come down to the mid-20s over the past couple of weeks. I'm not saying we're going to crash again, guys, but the proof's in the pudding here. Look at the VIX. Each time it's come to 25, 24, 26. It's gone back to the low mid-30s shortly after that. So with that being said, if you all found value in this video, hit the like button, subscribe. It really helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. And do not forget to get your 10 stocks from Moomoo with a $100 deposit and your 6 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited. It's free money, guys. Those stocks are linked down below. And also, you can join my Patreon if you want all my real-time buys, sells, call-outs, exclusive content, morning videos, more access to me throughout the day. Everything I'm doing, I post on Patreon in real time. That is linked down below. Or you can go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon. And with that being said, cheers. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting next couple of hours here. Really, just the next hour and a half. So I'll see you later in the next video. Peace out.